Okay, we talk about the importance of mouth and esophagus. Now, in addition, minor glands in the lips, cheeks, lining of the mouth and throat also help in secreting saliva. Now, saliva contains two important enzymes called salivary amylase and lipids that begins the process of digesting carbohydrates and fats in the mouth. Saliva is made mostly of water, has some electrolytes and mucus as well as glycoproteins and antimicrobial agents. It is not only important for lubricating food and making it easy to swallow, but it also helps in maintaining oral hygiene. Dehydration can lead to the formation of aqueous saliva, since it is 99.5% water that is unable to reach the regions between the teeth and keep them healthy. Okay. Now, teeth help in tearing, biting, chewing, and grinding food. Along with saliva, they transform food into a relatively smooth bolus that can be swallowed. The bolus passes through the esophagus, a long and relatively narrowed tube made of smooth muscle that transverses the choanthus cavity. It contains two rings of smooth muscles at the top and bottom called the upper and lower esophageal sphincters. Now, while the upper sphincter is under voluntary control and prevents the passage of food into the respiratory system. The lower esophageal sphincters, LES, is present near the junction with the stomach. When the LES does not close fully, it leads to heartburns or reflux. Now we talk about stomach. At the stomach, the diameter of the GI tract increases to form a hollow sac-like structures made of 3 layers of smooth muscles. These muscles are arranged in longitudinal, diagonal, and circular layers. They contract in coordinated manner to shunts the food and mix it with gastric secretions. The mucous membranes of the stomach contain cells that secrete hydrochloric acid, parietal cells, as well as digestive enzymes. Now, chief cells. Enzymes are secreted in an inactive state and become activated in the low pH of the organ. Now, when the stomach is empty or contracted, the inner surface forms a number of rifts called rugae. Now, these ridges are prominently near the pyloric end of the stomach and disappear when the stomach is distended. The stomach also contains endocrine glands that regulate digestion. The hormones produced by the stomach can either enhance or inhibit its digestive activity and include gastric, histamine, and somatostatin. Okay, so that is it. Now we look into liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. All right, so okay, now the liver is the heaviest and largest gland in the human body and is formed of 4 lobes. Liver function plays a serious role in digestion. The liver releases bile secretion which emulsify fats and enhance the activities of pancreatic and intestinal lipases. Now, the alcoholic nature of bile also neutralizes gastric acid When semen enter the duodenum, bile is necessary for the absorption of vitamin K from the gut. Now, while some piles can flow directly into the intestine, some of it is stored in the gallbladder and released its response to the increased ingress of partially digested food from the stomach. Now, the pancreas is among the most important digestive organs and is located behind the stomach. It secretes a large number of enzymes involved in the digestion of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Now, its proteases are secreted in their inactive form and initially activated through a membrane-bound enzyme in the duodenum called enteropeptides. A few molecules of an activity enzymes can then create a cacarette of active proteases. Now, the pancreas also secretes amylase that digest carbohydrates and lipases, phospholipases, and cholesterol esterase that are involved in fat digestion and metabolism. Now, hormone secreted by the stomach is whereas the intestines control pancreatic secretions. Okay, so we look into the small intestine. The small intestine is divided into 3 regions based on their function. Even though they are largely similar from a histological standpoint, the first part of the small intestine is called the duodenum and is the shortest segment. It is curved and surrounds one end of the pancreas. It is separated from the stomach by the pyloric sphincter and receives gastric shemens in small quantities when the sphincter opens. Now, the common bile duct and pancreatic ducts open into the duodenum. Now, where the final stage of digestion occur, both due to pancreatic enzymes and membrane-bound intestinal enzymes. Now, the duodenum also contains glands that produce alcoholic secretions that neutralize shemens along with the bile. Now, the second section of the small intestine is called the jejunum and marks the site where the absorption of digested nutrients begins. Now, the jejunum contains both villi and microvilli that increases its surface area for absorptions. Now, the last segment of the small intestine is the ileum, which is also the longest and can be nearly 3 meters in length. This is the site of the absorption of vitamin B12 and reabsorption of bile salts. Okay. Now, here there is a diagram here. So, okay, I see if I can show off this diagram here. I don't know. I just have to see. See. Okay, you can see this diagram here. There we have the stomach, a small intestine, large intestine, colon, duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Okay, these are the anatomy of small intestine. You can see. Okay. So this is it. Okay, now we look into the large intestine. The large intestine consists of the second colon and return function as the sites for water absorptions and the compulsion of undigested food into feces. The large intestine is home to the majority of the gut flora of the GI tract, containing over 700 species of bacteria. The diversity of the species depends on genetics, environment, and diet, with some studies implying that vaginal birth and breastfeeding can help establish a healthy microbiome. Now, these microorganisms help the body synthesize some B vitamin and vitamin K. There is also some evidence to suggest that the gut's microbiome can influence the onset of autoimmune disorders. Okay, now the rectal stores feces until it can be voided through the anus. Now, okay, that is it. All right. Okay. All right, this is all we have today. Thank you very much for watching. Please share my video. Follow me up on Princess Ogbe. God bless you. I remain your humble doctor, your family doctor, the King Goddess. Ovora Menoba isi, Ulaya Abusawa, Usano Dazi Ogbevo. Okay, alias the Lord, the Oracle of God. Yes. Okay. God bless you and Merry Christmas. Stay blessed.